everyone. I'm Claudine Ewing.
And I'm Lauren Hall, and October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. It is a time to honor survivors, support those in treatment, and continue to push for a cure.
Even if you can't be part of the fight in person, there are many ways to get involved and to make a difference.
That's why we are sharing stories of inspiration, breakthroughs in research, and people right here in Western New York leading the charge.
That includes one survivor's powerful message, encouraging others to speak up, take control of their health, never give up hope.
And it all comes together during Making Strides Against Breast Cancer, happening October 18th at Terminal B on Buffalo's Outer Harbor.
When Kimberly LaRussa rang the bell at Roswell Park this summer, it didn't just mark the end of her treatment. It was the beginning of a new chapter.
I'm really grateful and feel very lucky to have rang the bell in August. And now I'm just kind of living life, trying to get back into normal, whatever that is. I didn't realize, after beating cancer, what comes along with that, with the emotions and all that goes on. So right now I'm just trying to figure out the new normal, which is, it's a little weird, a little strange, but doing my best to get through it.
Kimberly endured months of chemotherapy, radiation, surgery, and now continues targeted treatment, all with her family and her service dog, Chloe, by her side.
She came to all of my appointments. She was my rock, and of course my husband and son were too. But to have my service dog with me, I don't know if I would have been able to get through that without her. She, was undeniably a great source of strength for me.
Throughout it all, she poured herself into advocacy. Kimberly now serves as executive ambassador for the Making Strides Against Breast Cancer Walk in Buffalo.
And so I've just been, doing what Kimberly does in life with promoting and getting people on board to spread awareness. I've been doing this all summer long, so I started a Pink Summer campaign. So I figure, there's so much awareness in October, but breast cancer happens to women all year round. 1 in 8 women get diagnosed, so I really felt awareness should start much sooner, and so that's what I did.
On October 18th, Kimberly and Chloe will walk alongside other survivors and supporters at Buffalo's Outer Harbor.
Kim has been the biggest blessing to the American Cancer Society and Making Strides of Buffalo. She has such a voice and a power over the community. We can't thank her enough, and we are so honored to have her as part of our event.
Now, as Kimberly takes the next steps on her new journey of survivorship, she sees it as her mission to be a champion for other women.
I don't know why this happened to me or what the, purpose was. There might not ever be one. But, if you could see a light at the end of the tunnel, that the journey I went through could maybe save someone else's life, that means the world to me. And a lot of women have come to me, and they have said, they've advocated with their doctors. The doctor said, oh, you're too young to get a mammogram. They said, no, I'm not too young. I would like one, please. And then they got one. So, it's never too early, and nothing is worse than having cancer. So just get your mammograms.
And you just saw how a beloved Western New York bakery is stepping up in the fight against breast cancer, one donut at a time. Paula's Donuts is teaming up with Kimberly LaRussa for her Pink Summer campaign. Since August, Paula's has been selling Pink Punch for a Purpose and a pink donut to raise money and awareness for Making Strides Against Breast Cancer on October 18th. LaRussa says Paula's did not hesitate to help.
I was so happy and surprised. I emailed them and told them my idea, and they immediately brought me in, and we had a meeting, and they collaborated and came up with this pink punch and the pink donut all by themselves, and I'm so grateful for their partnership. They said that this cause is near and dear to their hearts, and they were just so happy to help, and they're going above and beyond. So not only are they helping with the Pink Summer campaign, but throughout the month of October they'll be raising funds too. So very grateful to Paula's Donuts.
And Pink Punch for a Purpose and Pink Donuts are on sale all month at Paula's.
Our study is one of the many ongoing efforts to diversify the genomic database.
Coming up, a landmark study led by Roswell Park could help change the way doctors treat one of the deadliest forms of breast cancer.
What researchers found and why it could be a game changer for Black women. Welcome back. A new study led by Roswell Park is shedding light on why triple-negative breast cancer, one of the hardest to treat, affects Black women so much.
Researchers say the biology looks similar across races, but environment, age, obesity could play a bigger role than we thought. The study was made up of 462 African-American women with triple-negative breast cancer. The lead author of the study says it's always been research of interest because it's hard to treat and happens so frequently in Black women.
We found the mutation, the somatic mutations in triple-negative breast cancer in African-American women are very similar to that in European American or Asian women.
Dr. Yao says the study suggests the disease biology of triple-negative breast cancer is almost the same in African American women versus European American and Asian women. But why so high in Black women? Listen to this.
The disease might be related actually with with aging that we've seen in elder patients, and also maybe related with obesity. So those aging and obesity have not been well established as breast cancer, triple-negative breast cancer causal factors.
Environmental, age, obesity. He says more research is needed to include Black women in clinical trials for certain therapies.
So our study is one of the many ongoing efforts to diversify the genomic database for cancer genomics in non-European populations. So I hope we see more and more studies like this.
And he says they are currently tracking 1,000 breast tumors in African American women to build the largest genome database for Black breast cancer patients.
And from Roswell Park to ECMC, Western New York is making strides in the fight against breast cancer. The hospital recently unveiled its new state-of-the-art breast health center. It's the first brick-and-mortar mammography suite in Buffalo's Delavan-Grider neighborhood. The center provides 3D mammography imaging and other related services to the neighborhood's residents and beyond.
And this is obviously a huge step for the community and the area at large. You know, breast cancer impacts 1 in 8 women, so pretty much everybody here is going to know someone who's been impacted by that. And there are still, in 2025, huge socioeconomic factors that impact ability to receive treatment and reconstruction and time to treatment. And so this opening is a huge step towards making that right.
The facility is located on the first floor of ECMC's main hospital on Grider Street.
Don't wait for someone to be your hero. You have to be your own hero. No one's going to save your life for you.
Still to come, a journalist who spent her entire career telling other people's stories, now sharing her own. After surviving leukemia and breast cancer, her message is one every woman needs to hear.
Welcome back. She has spent more than 2 decades telling other people's stories, but now it's her own story that's inspiring women everywhere.
You know what? After surviving 2 cancers, journalist Loriana Hernandez Aldama is using her voice to change the way we think about advocacy and survival. She shared her incredible journey with me and the message that she wants everyone to hear. Former TV news
Anchor. And medical and health and medical reporter.
Yeah. For how long?
So for more than 25 years, I was a health and medical reporter, news anchor. You know, we move all over the country, but I was so busy telling everyone stories and loving life as a journalist. I'm an Emmy award-winning journalist and really proud of the work I do. But we get so caught up in telling everyone stories that we forget that we could actually become the story. We put the spotlight on everybody, like what we need to fix in the community for this, and that's good that we're doing great work. But for me, I was at the peak of my career, feeling great, I thought. I mean, I was exhausted, but when you anchor a morning show and you get to work, you wake up at 1:45 in the morning for work, and then you get to work at 3:30. You know you're going to be tired. So I overlooked the warning signs for myself, and I had gone to 2 doctors that were in my community, and they both said, you're tired, overworked, and a new mom trying to have it all. I had a 2-year-old son, and at the peak of all of that, I was going through a fertility treatment to have a second baby, and my fertility doctor, not the oncologist, said, I don't buy it. I don't think it's just that you're tired. I think the stress and has taken a toll on your body and something else is going wrong. He sent me in for a bone marrow biopsy, and he was so shocked he came to my house in tears. And he said, I'm used to making dreams come true, and I'm about to shatter yours. You have AML leukemia. You have cancer. And I was like, listen, I'm the clean eating, green drinking yoga enthusiast. There's no way I have cancer. I tell people what to eat, not to get it. And he was shocked, and so I had to do what we do. I was ashamed as a medical reporter telling people what not to eat to what I thought avoid cancer. But I said, if I want to live for my son, I'm going to have to humble myself and ask for help. And I always say asking for help is a survival skill. And that's what I promote all the time. And I went on social media and I said, I've been diagnosed with AML leukemia. I need to go to the top tier, which is an NCI designated comprehensive cancer center, and I need help. And someone within 24 hours had a call from Johns Hopkins, and they said, the doctor said to me, say goodbye to your son, get on a plane, we have a bed waiting for you, you're dying. And it was like my eureka moment, like how did I go from I needed a rest to I'm dying? Yeah. And it opened my eyes as a journalist. I'm like, this isn't just about me, this is a bigger story. Like, how do we get dismissed and we have gaps like this, that who you know should not determine if you live? And that your success rates, so I started researching in bed. When you're separated from your son for a year and you're sitting there and people are dying the left and right of you and you have PTSD, I just researched. We're journalists, and I just researched, and I was like, I found out that NCI designated comprehensive cancer centers like Johns Hopkins, like Roswell Park, have higher success rates. Doesn't mean the community cancer centers, the other places aren't doing well. They're living with purpose and working with purpose. The problem is they have limits. They may not have clinical trials. They may not have cutting edge equipment. They don't have specialists who live and breathe that disease all day, every day. And that's what it took for me to get my answers. So part of the reason, because I could talk forever on this, that when they called me, I said, I would love to come speak at your conference because you're tying in all your research on stress. My whole life evolved and revolved around stress. And you're an NCI designated comprehensive cancer center. And their research here shows that if you get a second opinion here at Roswell Park, there's an 11 to 18% chance that your diagnosis will change, sometimes in life-changing ways. Either you're told you don't have cancer when you actually do, or told that you do have cancer when you don't. And so that kind of was my epiphany. Like, I have to get this out to everybody. And then I have to get out to the Black and Latino communities as well, because sometimes we're dismissed, and I felt like I was dismissed in my own community.
Yeah, you were 41 years old.
Yeah.
With a 2-year-old.
Yeah.
Career, doing well.
Living life.
And then leukemia, and then breast cancer.
Right. So 10 years, and in between that 10 months, let me back up. 10 months into my leukemia diagnosis, they couldn't get it under control, and I needed a bone marrow transplant. So I had to go through more chemo, more radiation, and because I was fit, I could withstand that. So after the leukemia, throughout that treatment, I needed the bone marrow transplant because it came back. 5 years to the day of surviving leukemia is when I got breast cancer as a secondary cancer. And what they said is it's likely from the full body radiation used to save your life. So it was like a trade-off. I mean, we know it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month. It's 1 in 8 women get breast cancer. And I found mine from an ultrasound, not a mammogram, because I have dense breast, which is, we can do a whole other story on that.
And I think we have to hit on that just because this area has a high caseload of women with breast cancer. Mm-hmm. Our station does a lot with breast cancer, and I think that alone, we can talk about that, because the fact that, number one, women need to get mammograms.
Right.
Sometimes they're afraid, it hurts, but it's worth knowing.
And I say you have to advocate for yourself. Like, when you know something's not right. After my leukemia, I felt like something wasn't right. And somebody actually said to me in the medical profession, like, you've had so much chemo and radiation, there is no way, like, because they blast you with leukemia, it's full body. There is no way you have cancer again. I'm like, I know the full body radiation can cause secondary cancers. I want a mammogram, and I had to fight for it. And then I had to fight for the ultrasound because I knew I had dense breasts. And it was that moment that diagnosed me. But again, I was fighting for myself. So I say to anybody listening, like, don't wait for someone to be your hero. You have to be your own hero. No one's gonna save your life for you. You have to meet, I mean, they have great stuff here at Roswell Park. You're in a great place, right in your own backyard. But you have to meet the medicine halfway and be your own hero and push for answers.
And I think that's the other premise of that I appreciated when I was reading your story and seeing why you were coming, because you get a lot of speakers and they can talk about something specific, but when you have to talk about patient advocacy, you have to fight for yourself.
Yeah.
That's what you did, right?
I had to fight
you went
for
to social media.
I went to social media, and I say that you have to lean on your community, you have to lean on friends, you have to humble yourself, and that asking for help is a survival skill. So it's okay to ask for help and lean on each other and check with your friends. Did you get your mammogram, or did you push for this? I see people when I'm sitting in the waiting room and I'm saying, ask for the ultrasound. Like, do you have dense breasts? And people don't know. And I'm not faulting them. I didn't know until I started advocating and reading about this. Like, you can actually go into your medical records and see if you have dense breasts. And then if you do, there's a high probability that you need another form of imaging, like an ultrasound, to better determine. And that's how it was caught for me. But you have to ask. Like, a lot of women, like you said, are scared to go. What I say is there's so much, I go to these conferences, there is so much new treatments out there. But the sooner you catch something, the better off you are. So ask for the help, get the mammogram, because if you can catch it early, you're so much better off than if you catch it late.
What's been the response when you've been speaking around the country?
People are happy that I'm speaking about really the patient voids, because I talk a lot. I always tell people I was living my life as a news anchor, and then I went to fighting for my life and so lost in survivorship, wanting to take my own life. And because there was such a void in the mental health for me, I said, here I'm at a top tier cancer center, they saved my life, but even they did not have the medical support that I needed to navigate cancer. And we know that mental health causes stress, and stress can affect your outcome and your success rate drastically. So for me, a lot of people have been very receptive, saying thank you, because I don't feel comfortable sharing. And I have no problem telling people I'm depressed, I have anxiety, I have PTSD. I cried leaving my son. Every time I get on the plane, even to come here or anywhere, I cry the whole way. I get on the plane early and I'm thinking, why do I do this? Why do I do this? My PTSD is so bad, I'm gonna die, I'm gonna die. And then I have to remember where I'm going and what I'm doing and my purpose. And I remember that's why I'm going, I'm doing what I need to do, because somebody has to be vocal about it so we can look at us as a whole patient, because we're more than our disease. And we know when we treat a whole patient, we can improve our success rates.
How old is your son now?
He's 13.
Thriving?
Thriving. Yeah. I think he's stronger than me. I cried dropping him off at school because I always feel like, what if something happens? And he's like, Mom, remember what you said, if you live, you will serve. And I said, you're right. I'm gonna get on the plane because I have to. But I never tell them that I'm gonna be home, because in the hospital when people died, they would say they went home. I can't say the word. I say, I'll be back. I'll see you Thursday. I'm gonna go do God's work, because I have a mission and I have a purpose, and I'll see you on Thursday.
And it's been how many years?
It's been 10 years.
And it still brings you to tears?
Every day. Even every day it brings me to tears, because I can't shake it, because it was so traumatizing to be away from him and not have the mental health support. And then there's the constant fears we live with, which that causes stress. I mean, I'm in a machine. I have an MRI when I get back to make sure this pain I'm having here isn't cancer, because they're like, well, typically something that goes on for too long that doesn't seem right and doesn't heal could be cancer. So I'm back in an MRI. And it's living between what I call fence posts, living between the scan, the blood draw, all these things causes trauma because you don't know when the shoe's going to drop, or you hope it doesn't. And people can tell you, oh, I can get hit by a bus. And I'm like, listen, I know what my statistics are, and I know the full body radiation, what it can do to, it can cause a third cancer. I know my risk. I know stress causes inflammation. Inflammation is a fertilizer for cancer. And my body's inflamed from the treatment. So I have very good reason to be concerned.
All the time. When it comes to work, when did you know that it was time to end your career?
Well, after leukemia, I said, you know, I'm going to go back. They said it's going to be a long journey to see if you're going to survive. So I told my husband, on my 5th anniversary, I'm going to go back to reporting. And on the 5th anniversary, I got a call. And that's when they said, you have breast cancer. And so it was taken away from me again. And I said, I will not lose my voice. I will not stop being a journalist. I will not stop telling stories because cancer stole it from me. I have so many things broken with me. I have neuropathy, I have bone pain, cognitive issues, but cancer damn sure did not take my voice away. I may not be on TV with you or other people and other networks, but I'm on my own TV. I have a podcast and I have a voice, and I'm going to shout it from the megaphone because we have to save lives, because we can't wait. There's a lot going on in our country about who's getting funding, who's this. We don't have time. We just need to know people are getting diagnosed every single day, and what the noise that goes on around us impacts our success rates. And if we live or if we die, it can impact that. Patients cannot wait. We just have to keep going.
In under-resourced,
yes,
not underserved, under-resourced
yes.
communities.
Yes, exactly. So we have to keep going.
Is there anything else you want to add? The name of the book?
My name of my book is Becoming the Story, but I'm working on another one called The Weight of Air, about PTSD and depression, because people don't get it. Yeah. Like, it's hard. And whether you had cancer or you had something else, people don't want to talk about it. And I am so open. I get on that plane early and I say to the pilot, like, I know I don't look broken, but I am broken because I have trauma. You know, is it going to be bumpy? You know, I'm just very transparent, because I think if we don't normalize mental health, we're not going to get anywhere. And we have to realize that if you go through a cancer treatment, that mental health plays a toll. It takes a toll on you. So when you check on your friends who've had cancer, don't just, you know, after the meal train ends, people think, oh, it's over, and they're not the same person. They're completely different. Their body don't work the same. They don't feel the same. They don't look the same. Their finances aren't the same. And mentally, they're not the same. So ask them, how is your well-being? How are you doing? What can I do for you?
Well, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Lauren, when you think about this, so many incredible stories of strength, survival, and science, each one reminding us why awareness and early detection, it matters so much.
And creating these connections over these stories as well. And as we get closer to the Making Strides Against Breast Cancer Walk, we hope that you will join us by walking, donating, connecting, or simply supporting someone that you love.
For Lauren Hall, I'm Claudine Ewing. Thank you so much for joining us.